You know, something absolutely massive is happening in Bihar. And I'm not just talking about a few new roads or buildings. We're talking about a complete reimagining of the state's physical foundation. It's a transformation on a scale that's honestly hard to wrap your head around, a fundamental rewiring of how an entire state connects with itself and the world. So let's dive in and see exactly how they're doing it. Right at the heart of this whole thing is one single, really powerful, and very human goal: making sure that anyone from any corner of the state can get to the capital, Patna, in 4 hours. Now, this isn't just about going fast. It's about access. It's about economic opportunity. And it's about truly unifying a state with over 100 million people. But that begs the question, right? It's a monumental challenge. How do you actually pull that off? I mean, it's one thing to have a great vision, but it's a whole other beast to build the physical reality. This is the core problem we're going to unpack.
To solve this 4-hour challenge, Bihar didn't just pick one strategy. No, they chose two, and they're running them at the same time. And this is where things get really clever.
So here it is, the dual track strategy. On one hand, you've got these huge next-gen corridors. Think of them like the big national arteries, pumping commerce and people across the country. But on the other hand, and this is just as crucial, there's this intense focus on social equity, weaving this incredible web of rural roads, the capillaries that feed every single village. So let's see how this arteries and capillaries idea actually plays out. And we'll start with the biggest piece of the puzzle, the road network. This is where the sheer scale of what's happening becomes crystal clear. And wow, this table really shows you the artery part of the plan. We're talking about hundreds and hundreds of kilometers of brand new 6-lane expressways. You've got the Patna-Purnia route, which connects major economic hubs inside Bihar, but then look at the others. Gorakhpur to Siliguri, Raxaul to Haldia. These are fundamentally relinking Bihar with its neighbors and even with major seaports. These are brand new corridors for trade. But here's the thing. As incredible as those giant expressways are, they are literally only half the story. The data shows that the real revolution, the part that's touching almost every single citizen's life, is actually happening on a much, much smaller scale. Get ready for this number, 1.19 lakh kilometers. That's 119,000 kilometers. That is the length of rural roads built in just the last couple of decades. Seriously, let that sink in. That's enough road to wrap around the entire planet nearly 3 times. It's just staggering. So what does a number like that actually mean for people? Well, it means a farmer can get their produce to the market before it spoils. It means a kid can get to school on a paved road, not some muddy track. It means a family in an emergency can actually get to a hospital. This is that capillary network we were talking about. And for so many, it is an absolute lifeline. But this whole story isn't just about asphalt and concrete. To really connect a state of this size, the vision had to be bigger. It had to be multimodal, embracing not just the land, but the sky and the state's ancient rivers, too. 15 times. That's the growth in the economic contribution of the airways sector in just over a decade. It's an explosive expansion that just goes to show how rapidly Bihar is opening up to the rest of the world. And you can see that explosive growth right here on this chart. It's gone from a pretty modest 31 crore rupees to over 450 crore. That is a massive jump, and it reflects a huge increase in both people and goods moving by air.
And the state is just doubling down on this. It's not just about the 4 airports that are running today. The plan is to develop 13 more across other major towns. The goal here is pretty clear: make air travel accessible from almost anywhere in the state.
Okay, now here is a really fascinating detail. While the roads and airports get a lot of the headlines, the water transport sector has been quietly growing at the exact same annual rate as the road sector, 13.4%. This is no coincidence. It's a huge sign of a balanced, really strategic approach to the whole infrastructure puzzle. Reviving these old river routes is a core part of the strategy. And it's not just about growth, it's about smart growth. Water transport is cost-effective, it's way more sustainable for the environment, and for a state that's blessed with major rivers like the Ganga, it's an incredible asset that's finally being put to good use. So we've got the vision, we've got the multimodal strategy, but a plan is just a piece of paper without execution. So who are the organizations on the ground actually turning these blueprints into bridges and buildings and roads? And the delivery here is just, wow. Look at the numbers from these key state agencies. We're talking 882 bridges from just one group, over 2,500 projects from another, and get this, the State Road Transport Corporation has served over 10 crore passengers. That's 100 million people in just 5 years. These are the engines that are making it all happen.
So when you start to put all these pieces together, the expressways, the village roads, the airports, the waterways, it becomes obvious that this is about so much more than just getting from point A to point B. This is about connecting an entire state to its own future. So what's the big takeaway here? Well, this whole project is about way more than just concrete and steel. It's a deeply human story, and it's powered by this brilliant dual strategy, connecting to the nation while empowering the smallest villages. This whole multimodal vision, for roads, sky, and river, it's not just building infrastructure, it's building opportunity, it's building access, and it's building a rising standard of living for millions. And that leaves us with one last, really fascinating question. Now that these physical connections are being forged and the very foundation of the state is being transformed, what comes next? What new possibilities, what new industries, what new ideas will be built on top of this incredible new infrastructure? Well, that is the next chapter in Bihar's story.